Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Portlynn with her movie, We're Gonna Die Alone. Let's take a look at the clip.
Rudy. Yeah? Dan had the smallest penis I've ever seen.
I miss him so much.
I'll go cancel our reservation.
Thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the New Filmmakers Los Angeles family. We're so grateful to have you, and thank you for bringing your film to us. It's amazing. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a little bit about it.
So this film is about two best friends. It's about specifically Rudy is being pressured to move in with her boyfriend, and in order to move in with him, she has to tell her best friend from childhood, who is also her roommate, that she's moving out while her roommate is going through a nasty breakup.
I mean, once you know that synopsis, you want to watch it because it's so intriguing. And then when you told us on stage about how this inspiration happened, it just blew my mind. Tell us about where this idea came from for this.
So this idea came from, so I have a best friend that I met in high school. I've known her since I was 14, and when we graduated from college, I had her come visit me, and what started as a visit ended up, hey, I'm gonna move here. And because she didn't have enough money to, at the time, afford her own room, we shared a room, and not just a room, but a bed for like 7 years to save on rent. And at first I was like, oh, why are you moving in with me? Like, I had my own space. And then like years later, she was like, you know, I'm in a relationship. I'm probably gonna move out one day. And I remember having that thought, just like, it freaked me out. I was like, no, like, you're my everything, you're my world. Eventually, her and that relationship ended, and she came home really upset after an engagement party. And she's like, I'm never gonna find anyone that I love as much as you. And I just thought that that was so interesting because it was true. Like, at the time, I was so satisfied by our friendship that I never thought about what it would mean to find any like long-term romantic partner. Because I honestly, and I still feel this to this day, even though she's married, that like she's kind of my soulmate. Yeah. So I just made this film as a celebration of that.
All right, and definitely with that longevity of what you shared together, it was definitely an important, just even for you both, letting anybody else, honestly. But you made a fantastic film. Like, honestly, it was so highly entertaining. I felt such the vibration of your, well, now we know obviously your and your high school friend into the characters that you created. What was it like then taking your own experiences, creating these characters, finding this amazing cast and turning this into a film? How did that kind of journey start with the cast and then, you know, orchestrating the rest?
Yeah, so I started writing this right around the early pandemic. I had seen I had come out of school where we were making films like every single year, and I started to feel a little rusty, and so I reached out to the producer of the film, Greg Schrader, and I was like, can you like keep tabs on me? I want to write this script. I was inspired by this night my friend came home sad and like professing her like love for me, and I was like, I want to write about this. I saw Frances Ha. I was like, I think we need more films about like that intangible friendship. It took me a while to write because I was also working on other projects. I work full time. And so after about a year of writing, getting Mia, my best friend, to read the script and give me notes, we finally started fundraising. And in terms of casting, actually what happened was we had a casting director, and everyone was really talented, but just no one felt right for the roles. And I went to Dances with Films with another short, and during our shorts block, we saw a short film by Anna Garcia, who plays Sophia in the film, and I just thought she was so funny. And so I went up to her afterwards, asked for her Instagram, and was like, can I follow you? And then I messaged her, and I was like, would you read for this role? I know I just met you, and like we're having like callbacks, and I think you'd be really great for it. And she was so into it. She was like, yeah, I love the script. And she came and she just like kind of blew everyone out of the water in a way. I was like, do you have friends that you know that you think could play like Rudy? And so she sent me a few people. Everyone was great, but Jetta just really stood out to me. And they had amazing chemistry. I always felt like the film wouldn't work if the two best friends didn't have it.
Oh, they had to. And also, I mean, I was so impressed by their like comedic timing, but just their chemistry they had together. How did you work as a director with them? Because it must have been fun to make, but they had such, like, the timing of everything was impeccable.
I wish I could take I wish I could take credit for that, but the reason why I was so excited to cast them is that they just had it like naturally. It was very effortless. I even like I was like, hey, ad-lib some stuff here and there. And most of the montage scene, some of the parts when they're in the Regency outfits, they just had like such good chemistry and such good timing bouncing off each other. I'd like to say that maybe the writing was helpful, but I just kind of let them do what they were doing well, and it kind of spoke for itself.
I love that, and that's credit to you for bringing them together. And honestly, the way that you orchestrated this together, your cast is just it reminds you never know where you're going to find the people that make the story happen. Now, obviously, you're taking something very personal and making it into an actual film. Like, what was your kind of obstacles, challenges? Was it plain sailing, easy? Like, what was the experience like for you?
I think something that I had to learn was it's really interesting to make something that is not based solely on your life, but inspired by someone else's experiences as well. And I learned a huge lesson about how that impacts other people. Like, for example, my friend was very supportive of me making this, but I realized that making something that was inspired by her was something that intrinsically made it so that if people knew our relationship, they could infer things from watching the film. Yes. And so I wanted to navigate that with respect and making sure that the characters weren't so revealing about my friend and more so revealing about me and my anxiety about my relationship with my friend and essentially my codependent habits with my friend versus putting a magnifying glass on her and showcasing her flaws or anything. So in that process, having discussions with her, I was like, oh, I never considered that like you would have any issue with like portraying this or that. I assumed that people would assume it's about me, but you know, things like that.
That's a very important part, especially when you've got them obviously going to watch it hopefully as well, right? What was her reaction? Did she love it?
So funny. She was like really anxious about it because she was like, people are gonna think, and then she watched it and she's like, oh yeah, these characters are you, but like wrapped in our relationship. Like both characters are essentially like different versions of me. So there was she like refused to watch it for like genuinely, she refused to watch it until it was finished. After a while, and then she saw it and it was so climactic. She was just like, oh yeah, I like it. And I was like, okay. Cool. So yeah.
What's it been like sharing this film? Because I think the lovely thing about your film as well is that it's going to give you instantaneous audience reaction. Like, how has that experience been?
Oh my gosh. So I made a film like right before the pandemic that was a comedy and it got into a lot of festivals, but the pandemic happened and I only got to see that with an audience twice. And so hearing people laugh was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I'll hear it again when we get and so I couldn't because it was virtual. So getting to sit in an audience with this film and hearing people laugh is so, I was like, oh yeah, that's what happens when you make a comedy. People hopefully are going to laugh. So yeah, it's been really amazing to hear people tell me how much they relate to the dynamics between the characters and how the anxiety feels really close to home for them. And again, like selfishly, like sitting in an audience and hearing people like laugh at the right places and react at the right places is just, it's so nice.
It's very gratifying, isn't it? And you deserve that because you really did have such a little gem. Actually, I wasn't done with the characters. I really was, I'll be honest. I wanted more. Where are you taking us next?
With these characters in particular?
These characters or you as a filmmaker? What are the stories? Everything?
So I just finished Project Involve with Film Independent this last year, and we're in the festival circuit with our short Mosh, which has been doing pretty well. I'm really excited about that. Thank you. And then in July, I got to go to China, to Chongqing, to shoot a short film, and we had to finish it in like 3 days and like present it to the governor of the city. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience. That was awesome, and so that gave me a taste of like international filmmaking. Like I got to direct people, and I didn't speak Mandarin, but I had a translator, and I was like, this is awesome. So we have started submitting that to festivals, and then I just recently got into I can't say this, but I got into a program that is going to allow me to write my script for my next feature.
Fantastic. Oh my God. So listen, all these great things coming your way. How amazing. It can sometimes look very daunting and difficult when people are like, how do I do it? Do you have any advice and things that you go by for our filmmaking audience? Anything that kind of, that's important to you, what you've learned in your career thus far?
So I have ADHD really bad, and oh, nice. So I've learned that I have to navigate things differently than other people, and with that, it requires that I get a strong community together. So, for example, with We're Gonna Die Alone, I had to reach out to a producer before I wrote anything and be like, "Can you bother me like every so often about a script?" Because I personally need that shame, and not everyone's like me, but like. Everybody needs something that allows for them to work the best that they need. Some people like me need shame. Some people need a good community. Like I just started a writer's group. Some people need to be left alone. And so like finding what works for you in particular, I think is very helpful, because motivation I think is really difficult, especially like the industry currently is in a flux. And when it comes to independent work, it's like, where am I gonna find the funds? Where am I gonna find the time? I have a day job. So I think finding something that allows for you to get motivated or feel supported is really important. Even more so than I also try to stay well studied. So I'm going to go home after this and study the story structure of a film that's similar to the script that I'm going to write. Thank you. Yeah. It makes me feel like I'm doing something, even if I'm not directly writing. I'm studying. I'm feeling like I'm filling my brain with stuff. I'm even learning a little bit of the vernacular of film financing, because I have a friend that just finished a feature, and watching her navigate distribution and everything was like, this is actually you don't think about that at this stage in my career where I haven't made a feature yet, where it's like I hope so, but I make shorts, and shorts, the lifespan is not so much like how do we make our money back, it's how do I make a name for myself. So trying to learn those things, just trying to keep going.
That's amazing, honestly, just to consistently, we've always, as storytellers, filmmakers, creators, got to keep learning and keep growing, and I love that you're literally leaving here I'm going to go and study, because it should never stop, right, as storytellers. We're so grateful and happy you brought your film to us, Portlynn. Thank you so much. We'll never die alone, we won't. We really appreciate you, and we can't wait to wherever adventure you take us next. We're ready for your next film, so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.